Welcome back to Blackness. As our wealth grows, we know the war is coming. We must build more towers and finish installing the siege equipment on those towers. We could also do with focusing on research and building a small library here in order to unlock things like the Trebuchet and Greek fire. We're still working on recruiting Dior, Osred and Eomir. The faithful sons of England visit, as they often do, with them being our allies. There's not enough sunlight getting down here, so I'm going to have to remove the soil and let more light into this area. If they can't grow in the summer, they're not going to grow any other time of the year. From our allies we buy mechanical wooden components. We need them for the siege equipment. They're expensive, but this saves us having to make them. We do have to part ways with quite a bit of stuff to get them. May as well get metal mechanical components as well. It's a very big trade, but this also helps build our relationship with the faithful sons of England. It also helps when Mary does the talking. Osred Yeardley joined, and straight away we made him a chaplain. He was also a passionate miner and a passionate smith. Below the tower we'll build an advanced research bench. We'll also be adding doors as layers to our defence, so we can always fall back if breached. We now have many good miners, and we can dig fast. He was a slave trader. One of the prisoners, Cedric, was actually from the faithful sons of England. At Blackness, we look after our allies. We would buy him and set him free. Before we release him, we'd feed him and clothe him in some of Mary's finest. Dior joined us. Dior was a passionate builder, and it would be very useful having him join us now. Sunlight could now get below on the seed producing crops. Not a lot of sunlight, but sunlight nonetheless. Our numbers were growing and we needed more chambers. With the tower finished, it was time to extend the castle up into more luxury chambers. We had also learned that Ongjas, the catapults, perform better from height. We continued to try and recruit Eomer, and Cedric was of course free to go whenever he was ready. Inspired by Osred's commitment to his faith, Johnny finally accepted that he should be the Druid of Blackness, a spiritual embodiment of our Genesis. To prevent siege ladders, we begin digging trenches at our weakest walls. This ore-rich terrain also provides iron and silver, as well as limestone. It was Alan Notley from the Faithful Sons of England come to trade. They were just in time to join us for a grand feast. The alliance between us was thriving. Some of us celebrated a little bit too hard, but for once it wasn't Kyle. We decide to test Greek fire. We had heard stories of how unstoppable this fire was, but we wanted to see it for ourselves. Within minutes, it was a blazing inferno. We would need to be careful with this weapon. but our enemies would know true fear. Fortunately, the rain came that night. It was now autumn. The best defense against a trebuchet is a trebuchet. This behemoth has an incredible range. It can also be equipped with incendiary or even Greek fire incendiary. It will require a lot of materials to build. At the same time, Mr. Yeardley will now become a level 2 chaplain. Things were moving fast, and Blackness was becoming more and more powerful. But we could not become complacent. We had to stay vigilant. Our enemies are waiting for a mistake, and we have many enemies. Prosperity has a way of making us forget the horrors of the past. Our divine mission to cleanse the land of injustice began to slip into the recesses of our mind. But we remembered to keep our walls high and our arrows sharp. To stay ahead of demand, we were going to upgrade the castle more. We would build another floor with more luxury bedrooms. With Kyle, Petronilla and Dior, the work should be done quite quickly. We were making good progress when the looters appeared. They wanted to extort us, or to try at least, but we weren't interested in speaking to them just yet. We'd ignore them for now. It was time to face the lures. They were formally invited to give us their best shot. We'd test our latest defences on them. The battle was trivial. The looters were quickly annihilated. To meet the demand for mechanical components, we will need to add another blacksmith forge. We have many smiths in the community, we just need to give them more facilities and they'll get the job done. We will also invest in learning to make Greek fire for ourselves, rather than buying it. We'll need to experiment with its production, as it's a complex chemical mixture. To make the ingredient saltpeter, we'll need dung, ash and water. It also seems it's supposed to be outside. Quicklime is made by baking limestone. Lastly, we add flammable oil, which we already make. I'll also need to roof the saltpeter works to protect it from the rain and have optimal production speed. We continue to upgrade our walls to include security gates in the event of a breach by ladder. With no build work, Dior is often free to train. He's quickly become quite talented as an archer, and others are catching up with Kyle and Johnny too. But he soon has the materials ready to build the Trebuchet. requires a lot of work to get it done. Once finished, we could see that the range on the Trebuchet was absolutely huge. Dior had the honour of testing this new launcher for the first time. Blackness had a new guardian angel. We called it Redmund. Our melee specialists, Osred the Black, as he was now commonly known, and Holden were equipped with high quality steel mail. Michel and the other smiths would work on making them the highest quality steel plate armour in the known world. It was a cold autumn this year. The seed hut struggles to stay warm. We continued to host for our guests. To make fire ammo for the Trebuchet, we would need clay. Unfortunately, we've never seen clay up here in the mountains of Blackness. Military training was intensifying with increased amounts of spare time. We would need more archery ranges. Our swordsmen would soon have the best crafted steel swords. Combined with the production of plate armour, we had to increase our steel production substantially. Our master blacksmith Michel would do the rest. Times had certainly changed. The Church of the Third Coming were now looking to be our newest trade partner. These old enemies were becoming our friends. They offered pigment, Greek fire and clay bricks. Unfortunately, they didn't have raw clay. They were also devoted restitutionists, so we held an unforgettable Eucharist event for them. Osred the chaplain hosted the event with great zeal. The next day, Osred the Black finally managed to convince the aspiring chef Eomir to join us. The only skill shortage in Blackness now was animal handling. When not cooking, Eomir would be improving his very poor marksman skills. Osred and Holden were about to get a big upgrade. Master-crafted steel longswords were being made. Flawless steel longswords with a 17.07 damage per second. We'd also make spear to hang in the Grey Hall and shields. continue to improve the fortifications. The catapults are more effective when at height, allowing them to fire over our walls. We raise these catapults to improve their effectiveness in battle. They can be disassembled, which allows them to be reassembled more quickly. Perhaps one day we will take the fight to our enemies' strongholds, but for now, Blackness pursues an isolationist politics. We had hoped our allies had brought us clay, but they had not. We had almost learned all technology. To obtain clay, we may need to travel to our allies. They were 2 days' travel away, and Harry volunteered to take on the task. At the coldest peak of winter, when we least expected it, the River Bandits attacked. 21 of them came over the mountains. They could not have known how prepared we were. It was an intense bow. Too intense for Tiffany, who could not accept the prisoner, Jewess. Tiffany had gone mad. She would not put down her bow for the rest of the evening. The sanctity and the prosperity of Blackness had left some of us sensitive to the violence and the madness that existed outside these impenetrable grey walls. Blackness would need to balance itself between being ever ready for the impending war that would come from afar and creating a sanctity for peace and forgiveness within the walls that would nurture our souls. If we fail to do that, then either the walls will be knocked down or our souls will rot within the prison that we build for ourselves.